Morning from Minnesota. Here we are on a beautiful fall day. We've got fall colors happening, so the season is absolutely changing. So right away, obviously, first thing a lot of people in Minnesota notice are the leaves start to turn, and that has to do with the cooler temps. The colors sometimes have to do with how much moisture we've had or lack thereof. And obviously, cooler temps is obviously a big key. And then just watching the birds and animals. Birds and animals are both extremely active this time of year. Some are getting ready to migrate, such as the hummingbird, who was non-stop feeding for probably a 3-week span. He was probably at my feeder every 10 minutes, taking as much nectar as possible. The other natural food source for hummingbirds is obviously flowers, but my mixture of just sugar and water, again, just getting energy so the hummingbird can migrate. The hummingbird does not stay in the state of Minnesota over the winter, and some species do. I mean, I'll probably have about 10 to 15 different species throughout the winter. I continue to feed the birds. I will have a water source. I actually heat my bird bath so it doesn't freeze, because obviously hydration is important to birds. And some birds will migrate. Like I said, the hummingbird, you see you'll see the geese in a flock formation in a V. Some of the geese will migrate and some will stay here. Some swans migrate, some swans will stay here. It's all about finding open water. So some of them have adapted to stay here, but others, they'll get those little wings going and off they go for hundreds, maybe thousands of miles, depending upon where they're going to hibernate over the winter. Things like squirrels, extremely active this time of year, scurrying around, digging. It's amazing. They hide these little nuts or seeds or whatever they're digging up. Found a walnut that one of them had dug up in my yard, and they're gathering food for the winter. Obviously, squirrels will be active over the winter. I have squirrels all the time in my yard trying to jump on my bird feeders during the winter looking for a free meal. But the squirrels know the season's changing, so they're gathering food. Other things in this lake, the snapping turtles, what they do is they actually will just sit on the bottom of the lake over winter. So they don't dig into the mud. They just will sit literally on the bottom of the lake, and they really slow their metabolism down so they're not burning energy. But at the same time, they will move at times. Same thing with the painted turtle. Painted turtles will gather and just sit on the bottom of the lake. Some might go under some leaves, but rarely will they dig down. You'll hear stories of some turtles will dig down into the bottom of the lake, but I always thought they always did, but they don't. And then with toads are interesting because toads will actually just go under leaves in a forest. They might go along the shore and just embed down. And it talks about some of them literally will just go under leaves and literally freeze to death. They don't, but they have that ability to slow their metabolism down and in their respiration, and they survive. So depending upon frogs or toads, some are on the bottom of the lake, some are under leaves, some are on the base of the shore, digging down into the mud. But everybody adapts in a different way. Winters here obviously can be pretty severe. Obviously bears, they're going into a food frenzy right now, gathering as much food as possible because they will go into hibernation. Deer, we know, do not hibernate, so the deer will be, out and about all winter looking for something to eat. But it's that time of year in Minnesota where our season is changing. When we get to the end of this month, pretty much all the leaves are going to be off the trees. We will all be prepping for that first snowfall, and then it's a whole different survival for the animals, and hey, for Minnesotans once winter hits. So a little bit about changing in the seasons. Beautiful fall day here on Mooney Lake. I'm out.